Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of the 8 Morning 92 podcast where we always keep it 100. You heard none of them sound effects, did you?
Nah. Hey, y'all niggas, I was gonna keep it street.
Oh, then how you coming, Glock?
Pause.
Okay.
It's the 8 Morning 92 podcast. You know how we do. We always keep it 100.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 8 Morning 92 podcast. And since we weren't here, since we've been away, y'all been sad and lonely. Since we've been away, y'all been thinking of us too. Ooh, y'all were missing us. Ooh, we missed you too. I've been gone for a few days. I miss you. I miss you too. Shout out to Webby, Hood Classic, Mr. Charlamagne. What up, everybody?
Yeah, I didn't know where that
It's a
came
Hood
from.
Classic, bro. I'm always gonna come on here, and I always feel like I pick a song for you or whoever to get something. I've been missing you from the iconic Savage Life one. Might be Savage
Oh
Life
my
2,
God.
whatever. It's a Savage
Okay.
Life. Boy, come on now. Put that boy Webby out here. But
I didn't
welcome
know
back.
that one.
Man, sit your dumb ass down here.
There we go. But welcome back to another episode of 8 Morning 92 podcast. We always keep on holding. We are your hosts, Harrison.
And Banks.
All right, back again like we never left. Welcome back, my friend. We are here to talk what we always do, keeping it 100. Before we start this out, we want to thank everybody that has been rocking with us since day one. We have hit the magical number, so from now on, y'all can call me 30KJ, at least for this right now until I hit another number, because we have hit 30,000 YouTube subscribers. So thank you, everybody. Yes. Thank you. For anybody that knows, YouTube is a hard avenue to run. We hit plenty of numbers on the audio stream, so working into the video stream has had its challenges, but we still plan on cultivating this podcast and getting it up there. We know the podcasting game has kind of been oversaturated with the big wigs and people with money in studios, but we don't give a fuck because we've been in the game. We've already, touched a lot of milestones, and our next milestone is eventually get to 100K because I want that plaque. But everybody that's been down with us, we appreciate y'all for watching us go from 1 to 2 subscribers or 1 to 200 subscribers to 1 to 2,000 subscribers, and now we 30K J and big banks in the bank. All right. So appreciate y'all. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Banks, how was your weekend first and foremost?
It was good. I got to spend some time with my family. Take my boy on his swimming lessons. We went on the last swimming lesson for the month. It was great. He is struggling to understand what swimming really is. He thinks it's just clinging to me and saying swim.
I thought you were about to say something else. He's struggling not to drown.
No. He doesn't even understand. He thinks just holding on to me really tight and I move is swimming. So we're gonna have to try to lean on some friends who got pools, and I can try to take them over there throughout the summer. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty chill.
We said the podcasting game was officially taken over from a lot of people that came into the game that we had on the show that we were doing it when COVID took the world by storm by keeping everybody in the house. That's when everybody decided to kind of go to the podcasting realm. Me and you, Banks, we started right before the podcasting thing kind of took off. We were already integrated into the world, but everybody just shot up with a podcast. And then over like the last year and a half, I want to say podcasting for normal people trying to create a platform for themselves got taken over by bigger platform people. So anybody with a name already kind of established themselves as podcasters. So anybody like your Stephen A. Smiths, your Shannon Sharps, your Carmelo Anthony's, your Issa Rae's, anybody like that, those people were coming into the podcast spaces and they were taking over. So it pushed out a lot of regular low market podcasters, and then that was a way for podcasters. A wave that's taken over now is the streaming market. And the difference between streaming and podcasting is right now we're not live. You can record your podcast live, but we're not a live podcast. And streaming is an ongoing process to where your camera is on and you're just basically filming your life away. That's basically what's taking the world by storm. You get paid while you're on streams, and it's basically providing a lifestyle now that a lot of people are trying to get themselves engaged from. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the streamers versus the podcast era? What do you feel like is the better content, and um which one do you feel has the longer stay power?
That's a good question. um, I think I don't want to put it in the context of better because I think they both have their place in entertainment and education. But I find myself more drawn to podcasting just because that's the form of people talking to each other and you sitting back and listening has obviously been a thing since forever. Listening to people's storytelling, interviews, uh, so on and so forth, have all been basically what podcasting, has been from back then when we were listening on radio, so on and so forth, up until now. While streaming is often more overproduced, maybe performative, and I mean that. I guess I don't mean that negatively, but
It's
it's
basically
often,
content. It's not authentic.
yeah.
It's not organic and authentic.
It definitely gives that this is, yeah, we're chasing content. What do they say? COE. So we do wacky zany things to get attention, to get views, so on and so forth. And I don't want to act like I'm some old man where me and you were both. We talked about this before. Me, you, Torn, everybody else of our age. I mean, we was on YouTube watching what would end up eventually become streaming with Soldier Boy. When he would do his rich nigga shit vlogs or what have you. Like we all sat up and watched him basically run around through his huge mansion and just do random stuff. We all were watching some sort of content on YouTube in his early years. So I can't bring myself to really ish on content creators and the people who do the streaming because again that's another form of entertainment that we all we partook in past tense, and even some of us still watch it now. It's definitely at a different place with the money that it generates. You talk about the most obvious, most famous person, Kai, and Speed. um
Streamer
you know
University, I ain't mean to cut you off. Streamer University costs 3 million just for them to take over that campus. But for them to cost 3 million, I think I want to say they brought in like it was over the 3 million they spent. Let's just put it like that. The money
right,
of
so
they brought in,
they made their money back.
all of them made them, the top streamers especially, they made that money back. It's like the school let them fuck that school up for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it was worth it at the end. So I like both. Where do I find myself more engaged at this age? And I don't think it's an age thing, but I'm just saying personally, at this age, I'm more engaged with podcasts, and I'm running to things that are like podcasting. Now, I really love the intersection of podcasting, but I can watch it. So, like Joe Budden, like Cam Newton, like Jeff Teague, like Gil's Arena, all those things. Like I love. There was a podcast that I was watching earlier about the Haitian Revolution. It was this black girl. I'm so mad I can't think of her name right now, but she had this like hour long podcast about the Haitian Revolution, and that started off. I was listening to it, and then she said something about she had put something on the screen. I was like, wait a minute, she's showing images. So I ran straight to YouTube to watch her just do her podcast, but the visual part. But so yeah, I enjoy both. I do think the negative, there's a little slightly more negative connotation to the streaming because again, you got a lot of kids on there who could seemingly be seen as just kind of jumping around, doing stuff. Some say might be kind of dipping and dabbing into the coonery, and so like I said, the overproduced piece. But yeah, I think a real question. I think some people might want to ask themselves, or that needs to be answered is, you know, are people wanting to chase entertainment, which typically is a part of, streaming, or do they want to talk about real content where it comes with like truth and like evidence and all those things, diving deeper into somebody's life story or their lived experience and so on and so forth. Like, I think that's a better question of like, what do they want at the time? But what about you? What do you think?
As far as like what do people want to do with their streaming?
Well, first, the question about like, what do you prefer? Like, do you have a preference, or what are your thoughts on the two mediums?
I prefer podcasting mainly because I'm not about to sit there and just watch you stream all day.
Yeah.
I think that for me personally, I feel like streamer goes with the generation it is. I don't need to connect with streamers. I feel like streamers are a certain age, same with TikTok. Like I tell people all the time, like my app of choice is Twitter. So like I'm kind of even at the point now where I kind of aged out of Instagram. Like if I'm not putting that on the podcast, I'm not on Instagram. Twitter is my app of choice. So streaming, I like podcasts. I like to be able to pause it. I like to be able to go back. I like to be able to watch it for an hour. I don't need to be on here watching your ass for 8 hours. I don't need. I like organic and I like real conversations. I don't like theatrics. Like I don't know what DDG is and the streamer university. He was really going through some stuff. And then like the India Love and the Duke Dennis. I don't like watching these cameras on and all y'all doing stuff and you don't know what's what. And I'm not sitting up there saying like I care to the extent of like, are they dating? Are they doing this? But like okay, so DDG was at DreamCon, and I know this because it's on my Twitter timeline. But DDG is at
He
DreamCon.
just got into a
Somebody called
fight,
him.
right?
His brother got into a fight with somebody who called him doo-doo garbage because that's what somebody called him on Streamer University. But that's a real thing. But the way he acts and barking and doing other stuff, I don't know like if that's really you or you got a different girl on your stream like all the time. Like I'm not in no way putting that for that Hallie stuff and his child. I'm just saying like I don't know what's your real personality versus who you are after the Streamer University. Everybody talked about his real character. And up until then, if he didn't get so much praise, I ain't gonna lie, he just seemed corny to me because of what streaming represents. And I won't lie, Kai seems the same way. But I know from his drive, speed is the same way, but you don't get to where you are. And I think DJ Head said this. They say that like because you're on there so much, you have to kind of create click farming or whatever, farming, whatever. So to me, I feel like that's a whole different generation. That's not me, and I would probably prefer podcasting because it just brings. I just like the the um, the authenticity. Even though there are some wacky ass podcasting, I think that to stream every day, you're not authentically yourself in order to like have content like this.
You don't think so? You don't think it's akin to
It's
streaming is
nothing. Me and you both live a life. There's nothing going on every day in our life that you got a
right?
clue.
But I guess when you talk about the streaming everyday part, you don't think it's akin to reality TV where they're supposedly like on camera all day?
I think that it could be reality TV. I just don't think that y'all act like this every day in your reality. I don't think that like niggas is barking all day, niggas is doing this. I just think that sometimes that you want to be left alone. So I just don't think that like you're always animated 24/7. That's why I don't think that it's just too much. Like a camera's on you all the time. Like you want your personal space. So I just don't think that that's
Right.
real. Now it seemed like them having cameras on them is normal to them. Like even watching India Love and all that. Like she really got rebranded from this streamer university stuff. Like not saying she wasn't nobody, but she was more of our generation. Now she got rebranded from all this. Now she on stream every day, just talking and shit. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Like, go talk once a week or once every 2-3 days, like Jeff Teague, like Gilbert Arenas. I don't even like when Gilbert didn't do it unless you're doing it for a game reaction.
Hmm.
Watch the game. I'm cool with that, but I don't need like I don't need to see B Hen every fucking day. I need to see you
Yeah.
for that episode. You kind of know what I'm
And
saying?
on top of that, we don't want to watch B Hen like walk on a treadmill and do
Yeah,
game analysis for 24 straight hours. Yeah, that's
yeah.
not that's
That's
yeah.
not it. That's why I said I just don't think it's just I think it's for ages. I'm not part of that age demographic, but I can see it going. I just don't like when older people are trying to jump onto that wave. Like, let them have it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, rich niggas already fucked the podcast game up. Like, so,
Yeah.
like, let young niggas have it. Like, let them go on it. Y'all don't have the patience for what streaming requires because these niggas have no lives. They're so let them have it. All they want to do is be on their phone anyway. So let them have it. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my take.
that's true. And what's interesting about we kind of touched on it, like performative, these type of things, that why we both are kind of disengaged from streaming, to kind of get into our second topic, which is talking about Cardi B and Offset's unfortunate continuous breakup or divorce or whatever they got going on. Um, it almost begs the question, like, is there ever a way to end messy love cleanly? Talking about exploring like a public and a private breakup, what's real, what's performative between the two, because Offset has his mess, and then she respond, they get back together, they try to work it out, and then she's out here in the streets. It just seems like I shouldn't know this. I sound like Charlemagne, right? But I feel like I should know all these things. Are they trying to co-parent? They trying to co-trend? And I just don't really understand like what the point is. Now Offset's asking for spousal support, but it's in retaliation to maybe something that she's got going on. So they're trying to play lawyer games, and it's like they're trying to bring us in to the lawyer games, and I'm not one. Obviously, you're not one. So it's like it makes it messier because now we all got to pretend to have JDs and all this stuff, and I mean, which none of us do. None of us on the pod do.
Call
Uh,
Judge Philip Banks.
yeah,
Philip Banks. Philip
such
Banks.
a it's such a weird thing, and I can't imagine what type of like to be a little slightly serious, what type of emotional toll this could possibly take. But I think I mean, with them both being public figures, like it's like almost like is it taking an emotional toll on you, or is this the COE, right? Content over everything. Is this just the spectacle that we're all watching? So I mean, I guess a question I have for you, right? So if it were you, and I kind of already know this answer, but for the audience, for the broader audience, I mean, things don't seem to be off limits between them. You got him, or it wasn't her. I can't remember. It's been a mess. But you got it allegedly, like she went over somebody else's house and was laid up with them while she was pregnant. You got all
Stephon.
type of stories. So I'm like, if it were like, I mean, what is there such thing as off limits with this thing? Is this genuine? Like, what do you? I mean, what's your
Are you
thoughts on
saying
the
in
whole?
general, like, are you saying in general, like, is it a off limits with them? Or are you saying is it a off limits in general?
Yeah, like if it's you, and we're gonna obviously play the hypothetical game, right? So not you, the normal civilian, but like if you were a
It's
notable,
hypothetical that I make it. Okay. Go ahead.
if you are the notable person who's got the cachet, like I mean the same similar background, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody know who 30KJ is.
Okay, niggas know
Um
30,000 people know that, bro. Just saying, but go ahead. Go off, kid. Go off, kid.
So when you get into a public situation and your girl is more, you know, famous, notable, all those things. I mean, how do you play that? I guess that's my question. How do you
I
play
can
that?
make you famous. I guess I'll just say, well, we said this on the show last week. I just feel like fame is a new bully. I think that honestly, the more famous you are, the more bullied you are. That's the new head in the toilet type method. I don't necessarily think that it's responsible that way, but I feel like they've only communicated through like the only way that either one hears each other is through social media or the public opinion. Cardi's only anytime something happens with Cardi, she goes to social media react. Same with Offset, they got to go and tell people through social media when the nigga's laying on the couch. So I feel like with them, their defense mechanism is social media because neither person listens. They need public approval or despise from either one. Me personally, I don't like to have people sway my decision either way. I'm a very private person. So I feel like if I got to the point to where I needed them period, I feel like the relationship was over from the get-go that I needed public opinion on my relationship. Coming from a person who's been in a relationship to where you and the person couldn't decide it. They needed public opinion on y'all shit for y'all to decide stuff. I can personally tell you that that gets you nowhere. I can't be in a situation to where um the public can do whatever. But I also look at this to answer the question about like how is it? I don't feel like at this point anything that they're doing is off bounds. I feel like I feel like and this is why I feel like the whole situation is just kind of extra. I feel like both of y'all wasn't shit in the relationship. So I don't feel like all this extra shit seems necessary. I feel like if he wasn't shit, one child, he wasn't shit, two child,
Two
what made him
children.
shit three child? And if she
Three
wasn't,
children.
yeah, I know I'm saying it like that for a reason. One child, two child, three child. Like I'm saying it like that on purpose. I know you got your little funky degree, but I'm saying like if you weren't that, like what made it? And if she was doing all this extra shit, what brought you back to Carbisa or Bacardi or whatever fuck her name is? So I just don't get like what makes it. Now, when you get to divorce, I just feel like, what did you expect? I just don't understand. But this is the part I don't like. I ain't never seen somebody stop a woman for asking for some support. So whether this nigga need it or not, I don't see why you're going over there getting mad at him for asking her for spousal support if she's going to ask him for child support. This is the part where we be getting in people business too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if you watch the Joe Budden podcast, I have a problem with every time Melissa, and I wish they would call her out and make her stand on this and say you can't do another topic until you are fair across the board and acknowledge this. Melissa Ford gets on that podcast and seems to only have an opinion if it's with a woman in favor. Like let me phrase that the right way. She has other opinions, but like her opinion comes with the most passion if it can be in the defense of a woman. And so when you see it, I'm not going to sit there and fight for every woman cause with passion and say these guys or men are always doing this as if certain situations, I'm tired of saying a man will always cheat a woman. The nigga cheating with a woman, unless every time a nigga cheated is with another man, the nigga cheating with a woman. Okay. So every situation is with the opposite sex, is with the female. So for every situation, I feel like when Jimmy Butler got that situation, they said this with his baby mama and she wanted 55,000 and they argue with her for why 55,000 was enough and she said she needed more. You can't come back and say Offset is wrong for asking for spousal support. I feel like that's the only part of it to where I'm kind of like, you can't pick and choose now. You want the nigga dead, you want this, like now he can't ask for spousal support. I feel like that's the only part where I feel like, like what, don't pick and choose sides now. Like, I mean, if you ain't been with them kids because you shaking your ass now, like you kind of
Mhm.
lost that benefit of the doubt of a nigga ask you for something you ain't shit. So y'all just sound like a trap couple that's just too rich or too famous for y'all own good. And I really feel like, just like this Tory and Meg shit, I wish you niggas would end it and leave us the fuck alone. I feel like we've been put on this long Cardi and Offset saga of toxicity and is just fueling people. But I have this theory. You can tell me if you want. I want you to hear this, right? Do you remember the movie Little Nicky?
I do. Never watched
Adam
it, but
Sandler.
yeah, I know. I know.
Okay, so in the movie, they got mad at their dad, which was the devil. All of them were the devil's son, and so they was like, "We're gonna make hell on earth." So what they did was they came in and masquerading as two people, like it was a church person or whatever, and they got people to um do like this crazy stuff. So they had like pastors going on church saying basically cheat on your wives or do all this. And so like niggas was walking around with multiple baby mamas. Basically, hell was going the earth was going to shit because
Hmm.
they had basically was turning hell on earth. Everything just looked wild. And it was stripping the power from the devil for no balance. I don't know if people have noticed, but the amount of chaos, and I want to say the last 10 years, which we feed and thrive off, is ridiculous. I feel like it was a smaller balance, but I could be in a older person nostalgia of thinking it is ridiculous. Right now, the top trending stories are the Diddy trial, Meg and Tory getting stabbed, Cardi and Offset, Stephon Diggs passing drugs, and Cardi and Stephon Diggs. None of this shit is and Remy Mon Papoose. And if it ain't that, it is if a nigga do something, it's always negative. There has not been any positivity within the last 5, 6 years that we promote or we care about. And if you look at like the trend, I feel like everybody hates everybody. For the longest, like for a good little deal, it was black versus light skin. I mean, light skin versus dark skin again. It was black men hate white women. And I feel like what people are, I feel like we're recreating Lil Nicky for the social media age. Um, Even the Drake and Kendrick stuff have a little bit in this because there's a real discourse with that. That was a hateful year. Pick
Hmm.
one side. You kind of get what I'm saying? And so we don't care about shit unless there is chaos. And so how do we get to a point to where there's balance? So right now we're in a little Nicky social media era where I don't know if people notice, but y'all have let demons come out here and fuel y'all with easy, easy propaganda, and everybody's buying into the chaos, and y'all don't give a fuck about nothing positive because
Hmm.
we don't even promote it. Trump, um, transgenders, and if it's transgender, something negative. Caitlin Clark. We don't promote the WNBA because Angel Reese, the only time we show her is if she missing layups or she getting beat by that. Like it's just nothing. So that's my theory that we're living little Nicky was above his time like the Simpsons. And we're in little Nicky right now and we can't get out of it. Because like LeBron said, who wants to be the face of the NBA? LeBron has played for his 23rd year. LeBron can't go one season without nothing negative said about him. And a nigga
Hmm.
will say we're just critiquing basketball. So
Mm.
that's my theory so far for what we're in right now to answer for the question. But as we're about to stay on something negative, Stefon Diggs is negatively trying to get his ass out of New England. For all this hoopla we were talking about, I wanted to ask you for Stefon Diggs. Do you feel that the success and his name right now is going to cost him a starting job for the New England Patriots with his high profile dating relationship that's gotten him a lot of press, but also gotten him under fire for being seen on a boat handing out pink cocaine, not
Do
taking it.
we do we know it's cocaine?
That was what they said. The drug. It's not. That's what the name of the stuff he had was called, pink cocaine.
Oh,
I
it's
don't. That's what the
that's
package.
even worse.
But he was handing it out and doing all this. Do you feel like is this because he's maybe at the tail end? I mean, he is hurt, he is rehabbing. Do you feel what do you feel about this whole like Stefon Diggs circus that's going on with him right now at this time?
I don't know it, and it's like I like Stephon Diggs as an athlete. I felt like he was out
Maybe the
there.
moment my fault. Has the moment gotten too big for Stefon Diggs' name right now? That's the question I should have asked.
Has the moment gotten too big for Stefon Diggs? It would it would beg that question because I don't think he's been in a situation outside of football that has garnered him this much attention. I feel like he's been exceptional on the football field. So that's been his calling card, right? Like, he's reliable. Obviously, this year he suffered a major injury, but I mean, he's been a reliable guy. He's posting 1,000-yard seasons consistently. Uh, I mean, this is and it's funny because there's like a video out there of when he was with the when he was with the Vikings, and they were I guess it was a BTS, and they were asking like basically who's the menace out of all the players in the locker room, and they were all, oh no, who would you not want your sister to date? Which essentially is the same question, and they were all like Diggs, Stephon Diggs, and it's like, man, so he been a beast for some years, and it was even then everybody knew it, but I do think Cardi is an incredibly high profile individual for him to be dating, and this is definitely like a different stratosphere of attention that's on him right now. I just for the life of me can't understand how you on a boat with all these women and knowing that they drug test in the NFL. Obviously, it's not as, I don't think it's as much as the NBA, but knowing that like that's a thing that you are going to have to do, why you would be, you clearly was just, I guess we can say the obvious of him probably obviously being, under the influence and not paying attention. But I'm just like, bro, like you can't be that under the influence that you taking stuff out of your pocket, it's being caught on camera. You still got to get ready to go to camp, so on and so forth. And I mean, and if the question is, or if the pushback is, well, he's always outside during the off season. That's fine. We just never saw it. It goes back to my point of how visible he is now. He is incredibly visible. And I don't know if this works out in his favor, but this is the caveat. I don't know if this works out in his favor if he gets to camp, and this will be totally outside of how he's always operated. But if he gets to camp and he's perceived as effing around, or he gets he's still kind of dealing with that injury and he's not really back in full force like he should be, I mean that could definitely, that does not bode well for him in my opinion, as far as his time in New England, which was such an odd, that was such an odd move in just a football move, which I doubt that it was a football move. And you could kill me if you feel like, not you, but like if the audience feels like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I just didn't understand. You were with a contending team in I mean, a fairly weak division. Shots fired at
You doing too fucking much,
the
nigga.
Titans and the
You doing
Jaguars
too
and the
fucking much,
Colts.
nigga.
But so then you go to a division with a perennial team. You go to our division.
First off, nigga, you go to a division. You
You
go
go
to a
to
team
our division
with a
in the
hard ass
Dolphins.
coach, nigga. Vrabel do not play that bullshit. I know this for sure. Vrabel does not play that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, well, that part, right? From a coaching standpoint, but who's to say that his other coaches haven't been? Who's to say? Because I don't want to mess up nobody's name, bro, and look crazy. I can't remember. I know he's a black coach, and is it D'Amico?
Oh, D'Amico Ryans? You talking
Okay,
about
good,
Philly?
good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all. I don't know what his energy is like, but I'm sure it
I'm not
wasn't
saying
like.
D'Amico isn't probably the same, but I'm saying like I know from having Vrabel as our coach that Vrabel does not bullshit. So to sit there
That's
and
probably
go
that's
there,
probably why he ended up out of there.
But yeah, like I said, but D'Amico could have been the same. But like I said, I just know Vrabel is not going. Vrabel says it all the time, like, "Hey, get that shit. Don't do dumb shit. Don't do this." Like, you remember when DeAndre Hopkins was on there? He said DeAndre got to stop doing dumb shit. Like, he does not play that shit just because you a superstar.
Yeah, well, I mean, you speaking from lived experience, right? Being a fan, a season ticket holder, watching the behind the scenes, all that stuff. I just felt like the move in general to New England was weird. You left a pretty cushy place. You had young boys around you throwing you the ball, playing alongside or opposite you on the field. I mean, the team was smoking, man. The team was smoking hot, and I just didn't understand what it was. But I think talking to some of my older friends, obviously he is getting older. You just got bit by a major injury. I mean, of course, nobody will really pay you like you probably would like to have been paid. So, what are your other options but to go to New England?
63
Um,
million is still a lot of money.
no, for sure. Um, but we talking about somebody who we felt like was a perennial, star. Uh, and clearly, I mean, before he went down, I think because I had him on my fantasy in Houston. I mean, bro did like what he did like 11, 1200 or something like that before he, and I could be fact check on that, but he definitely did his thing before he went down. So, he was definitely a weapon. And hopefully, um, he'll come out of this situation because I feel like this. I feel like if he shows up, he does what he's supposed to do. He's not hurt, or he's not acting like he's nursing anything or whatever the case is. He goes to camp, comes out of camp fine, and we go into the season and he's playing ball. Like, who cares? I don't think anybody cares about the Cardi thing. He come out first game, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, something like that, something major, some outrageous. Yeah, nobody's gonna care about that Cardi stuff. But if I feel like his margin of error is definitely shrinking with how visible he is in the public eye. But
Quick
what's your
question
thought?
before we move on. I mean, I can go with you. I don't really feel like it's nothing more to add to it. I feel like
Yeah,
he's fucking it up, and I already said Rabel's going to get him. It's not the coach. He's not on the team to do that bullshit with. Do you
yeah.
blame Cardi for any of this? For knowing, and I say that because you knew what kind of nigga you was dating. So you have to be when you date a ball player. He's not just a regular. He's a high profile ball player. Do you blame her for not putting him in the best situations? And I'm not saying he got to have some personal responsibilities himself, but if that's going to be your nigga, you can't put him in situations to where it reflects on him. So do you blame her for any of the shit that he's in right now? Or do you just put sole responsibility on him?
Um. So I stand corrected on his yardage too. Man, he actually clearly seriously underperformed. So my bad. I was thinking about his
I
past
thought you were talking
years.
about Buffalo. I was the 1400 I said was at Buffalo.
Yeah. I was mixing up years, so I wanted to go back and yeah, years. Yeah, Buffalo. So from 20, I'm gonna answer your question. From 2018 and that was with the Vikings. So from 2018 to 2023, he had 1,000 yards every season. 1,000, 1,100, 1,500, 1,200, 14, 8, 11. And then this last time with the Texans, he barely got to 500. So I wanted to make sure I corrected myself in that in misspeaking. I think what it was at the time he was on the rise is what was going on because he was leading the wide receiver groups um, in fantasy for a while. Then obviously he went down. But is are we holding Cardi accountable? I guess we are if depending like I mean, okay, if they are as serious as they have been posting that they are, then yeah, I feel like Cardi, you definitely got to hold some like obvious if it's a pie, Cardi, you need to hold a small percentage of the pie. Like Stefon is obviously a grown man. He knows what he should be doing during his career, all this other stuff. But yeah, if y'all are as serious as y'all are acting, then yeah, Cardi deserves to hold some of the blame. But I feel like I don't believe that they're serious. And so with that, like if you ask me if I personally believe that they are that serious as they act like they are, I don't. And if that's the case, or if with that being the case, I feel like it's fair game. She don't care. I'm running it up. I'm trying to forgive. I'm trying to forget the offset stuff. I'm out here. I'm outside. I'm doing my little like I don't buy none of that. I don't think they're gonna be a thing. I don't think they're gonna be dating very long. It's definitely not gonna turn into nothing serious like a engagement. Like it ain't gonna be none of that, man. It's just some fun. I'm outside. I'm on my rebound type of energy. So yes, to answer your question, she should probably be held accountable in the things that are going on and that are happening around them based on his career and the type of image that he probably needs to have. But in reality, I don't think they're that serious. So it, they both just outside having fun.
Okay, we can go ahead and move on. So about a week or so ago, BossMan Dlow was being questioned about being on the D-Low. It was a transgender individual that sat there and said BossMan Dlow was sliding up in his DM, showing pictures and everything like that. I want to say about a couple days ago, it was revealed that BossMan Dlow was actually sending DMs to a girl, and a biological girl, I guess, however you want to say that. And the transgender person had chat GBT and artificial AI to messages and substituted them for himself to try to do a little buzz. And once the messages kind of took off, they ran with it, but then they thought it was going to be a joke. And as once they saw the heat that it was starting to become, that he was calling BossMan DownLow, he went and apologized. But um I wanted to ask you, now that we're in this believe before we did any type of evidence era, and I wanted to ask you your opinion on the whole thing, especially from that's a serious accusation, and from a community that always cries acceptance and tolerance. That's a dangerous game to be playing with somebody life like that, because um that people ran with that without even checking to see if it was real. And because of the way that you AI the messages now with technology, a simple apology, like you said, you could have done more damage. What's your take on all this, Banks?
um.
No, fuck that. I'm gonna get my take first. Fuck that.
Okay.
um I feel like for the last 4 or 5 years, you know, straight people have been crucified damn near for not being up to par with a lot of the lingo, a lot of the dialogue, a lot of the knowledge that LGBTQ members have been trying to profess to the world. I feel that LGBTQ members have went on the aggressive instead of the teaching side. I felt that there was a lot of hear me now instead of preaching. There was a lot of professing. I think I use that word right. Of what they wanted, and instead of being um a lending ear, they turned to being very defensive. Um, the whole world changed. If you look at 2015, the way that you handle the LGBTQ community is a lot different. The letters don't even make sense now, because it seems like only the people in the LGBTQ community plus can question or go back and forth between all the letters. Why, if you're on the outside there, you can't even say anything about it. And for the message that seemed to come through all of it, the message seemed to just be tolerance. And I remember Dave Chappelle got a lot of flack from the trans community, and that was just for him saying stuff. And he had actual trans friends, transgender friends in the community, and of course, like what it was preached, he went and sought their perspective before he even did the jokes, and it was still met with prejudice. It was still met with violence. It was, violent, vulgar words, not violence and actual physical violence, but aggression. Let's go with aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in that time, all it seemed like the message was just see us. And y'all was seen to the point to what the Me Too movement did to men. Women just wanted to be seen. They wanted to be not objectified. They wanted to be equal. They wanted to be seen as something else besides sexual beings. And to the point to where if you help somebody on the bench, you sound like you a rapist. To where we're at this point now that where you can go online and play with somebody's name. Now I know me and Banks are from a time to where if you watch certain movies or if you talk about certain things, transgender people got killed. Eddie Murphy was talked about, or Mr. C's or whatever his name was, transgender. They was killing transgender people. Um, it wasn't the internet era. They weren't called transgender. They were called the T word. And we're not about to get canceled. And I mean literally, like they're not about to shut down the page for that. But you know the other word. It rhymes with granny. So for people to really put in a lot of fight, I feel like these games are bullshit. I feel like that's playing with people's livelihoods. I feel like you play with that man's paper, and I feel like as a black man, especially, you don't get to be gay and come back to the regular world. You can go be gay and be white. You can go and gay, um, and be bisexual. You can go and do all that, but as a gay man, you don't get to do that as a black community. So to sit there and do that, we've taken a lot, and to just do games like this, I feel like now we need to be equal. We need to see what it's like to play these type of games and see what consequences are. So I feel like for everything that I feel that y'all built up, y'all slowly dealing with Black Lives Matter. That y'all burning it down because y'all had a platform for all this time and y'all wasted it just nitpicking and being impossible to get any type of understanding with. And I feel like bullshit reasons like this are why people have just given up trying to get any real acceptance from newer LGBTQ communities. We just work with older people our age, and I say 30, 40 plus, the people that really had to go through that couldn't say shit. And I feel like you's a trifling, dirty, musty ass motherfucker who did this that you need your ass whooped. And I feel like when you do shit like that, you lose the right to identify as what you were trying to be when you outed that motherfucker. You need to be that nigga that needs his ass whooped because you was trying to be funny and say he was trying to fuck with a transgender. You was a man and you need to be a man. Need to get his ass whooped by another man. You don't need to latch on to the transgender community to save yourself from an ass whooping. Tyrone needs to get his ass whooped by BossMan Dlow. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. That's I'm in total agreement with your take. It'll be quick too. I think you this idea that you can play with men in this way where you can AI a conversation or a text thread to make him look all goofy, which I think I might even wrote you and was like, is this even real? You know, like what is he really texting somebody? And I'm gonna tell you, even after like questioning if it was real, I'm gonna be honest. My next my next move was I don't care if he was texting a transgendered individual, trying to get his own Diddy freak off in rotation. I that didn't move me at
Who
all.
gives a fuck? Y'all be so worried for like it's supposed to be a secret, bitch. Y'all be so worried about exposing yourself. Now you look messy. Like now we know that you can't keep your motherfucking mouth shut. So even if it ain't that, we know if another nigga come in, you the snitch, bitch. You the rat. Not the nigga
Right.
who was doing it in private. You the rat.
Right. It's giving Dwight Howard all over again. Like we didn't need to know none of that stuff. He could have remained, and he probably still is a big freaky man. Like no, I mean, as a straight man, me, I just can't find the space in my mind to consider what another man got going on. If another man is super freaky, or if another man got trans people in his body count, I don't care.
Hey, you think that count as two bodies though? I just wonder. Like I just wanted to know. Like I hope that don't fuck up your answer, but I just wonder like how do you
I
count
hope it don't mess up the page because somebody.
that? I just want to know, do you count that as two bodies or do you is that just one? So okay, my fault. Go ahead.
I don't know. You throwing me with that one. That's new information. I ain't processed yet. But um, yeah. In closing, man, I think these type of games got to stop. And to your point, I guess what you were trying to, I think, largely speaking of a double standard that exists with within people of different groups with their sexual preferences and the way that they express their sexuality. There seems to be a double standard on how we go about protecting each other, or not even protecting each other, but exposing each other. And so I think that's the bigger takeaway from this is like, oh, it's just all jokes and fun that we attempted to fake out somebody who wasn't even part of the conversation in the first place. And now he's got all this weird, maybe now he has to answer like weird questions, in these interviews or whatever it is that, however he's moving around. Hopefully he's touring or something. And so he ain't got to deal with none of this for real, which is my hope. So he's not doing like any sort of press or anything. He's just on tour making his money, unbothered by this. But yeah, it's definitely, there's definitely a double standard out there when it comes to um, highlighting or sort of outing people. Some people get to do it and some people don't, and that's problematic to me.
No, I agree. Like I said, I don't know. Y'all can figure out that research and let us know. Y'all talk to somebody, stop being sensitive, and just ask them how many bodies is that, and let us know for that. But also feel like I said, this is why I said this is stupid air. Y'all is the most snitching ass niggas I've ever seen. Y'all expose more DMs and more tattletelling than I've ever seen. The conspicuous there used to be a shh era, and you niggas is look at me ass errors. Y'all want to be seen so bad. Y'all the most where my hug at ass niggas I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know. A quick question before we go, Banks. You think it's time to retire No Hands and Dreams and Nightmares from the club?
No,
What about No Hands from Waka Flocka?
no,
Okay, I mean we not there, so I just I wanted to ask.
that's
Um,
that's an undergrad. Yeah, that's an undergrad staple.
we
That's
got
like
we got 2 minutes. I got a quick question. If you're still at the club, if you're going to club, if the DJs are still playing stuff from 2014,
2000.
2009, the backpack era of 2014,
Okay,
you feel
okay.
like it's time to let that go, or does that say more about what music is out now that this just doesn't stick? Does that say more about do it say more about our era than it does yours if they're still playing No Hands and Loyal and shit from
I think that speaks resoundingly positively about where we were when we was exiting high school. I think that was, and I don't know if I shared this topic with you, and this is a topic for a different day, but I can't remember if I shared the post with you or not. I get so many things and I send so much stuff out, but it was like back in 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, every rapper was different, like distinctly different. The sound was different, and they all collaborated with each other. So we
yeah.
even heard it. But the sounds were distinctly different. The vibes were different. It was amazing. And so like to hear that people are wanting to gravitate towards the stuff that we were, I mean, that was curated while we were coming up. I mean, that speaks more to the type of artistry and everything that was happening at that time compared to compared to now. Everything seems to be. I hate to use like buzzwords, but anyway, the whole like just spit them out microwave. It's a new album every Friday, but there ain't really no That's what I think. I'm gonna tell you, and you can push back on it. I feel like shopping around an album or an artist doing a press run, that's lost. That's a lost art.
Mhm.
And I think that has killed, in my opinion, killed the interest of any new music coming out because we obviously don't have like a 106 in Park anymore. You could say that the Breakfast Club is sort of akin to that or like that, but and they do a decent job or they do a good job of when they do have somebody on a press run asking them certain questions and stuff. Charlamagne does a good job at that, but I just don't think a lot of them do that enough to where I'm buying in to what the album is. I can remember sitting at home watching 106 in Park, and when Travis Scott was early on in his career, he came on 106 in Park. I was kind of like, "Who is bruh?"
Yeah.
And they would talk to him and ask him questions, and then they would play his video or his music video, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's actually kind of hard," And they would, we would kind of get to know him a little bit, where he came from, why he makes the sound, why he makes the songs that he does, why does it sound like it does, the Texas influence on and so forth. But now it's just like somebody will pop up,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? We hear their music, and then I don't really have a connection to it.
Yeah. I don't think that you need a connection or a press run when you don't have to sell physical copies. But I don't really want to hear a nigga tell me that they don't want to hear what they playing from 2010 to 2014 when all you niggas do is do our covers or remake our songs on TikTok or remake all of our shows. So when you niggas can be original content era niggas, I'll
Yeah,
take your advice more serious. When you niggas ain't recycling You Got It Bad or shit or songs from 2011 and then put it as a song as if it was 20, we was at least doing shit from 30 years ago. So I'll take your advice more serious. I get kind of what you're saying, but all of our songs they could have been samples, but they were original for that time. So when you
yeah.
niggas get a trend and you're not doing the Dougie over, or you're not doing the
At this
Jerk,
point, they
or you're not doing
sampling the song that we listen to.
yeah,
That's the sample
exactly.
now.
Yeah, like nigga, we still in the generation of TikTok, nigga. We was sampling shit that our parents was doing or
Yeah.
something like that. Y'all niggas be sampling dances that we still doing at the club now. What the fuck, stanky leg out, and y'all changing the stanky leg out. So I don't know. Y'all got somewhat of a point, but when y'all niggas stop doing our shit, then and y'all do your own shit, then maybe I'll take it. So
So wait,
um
so you feel like in tongue in cheek, you feel disrespected
they
by how
can't
they
be
are treating it, or you don't feel like what?
I don't feel like they got a leg to stand on because they've done nothing original. That
So
this
you don't like when they
I don't go
use
out enough to. I personally would prefer to hear my music over theirs because I feel like it has a longing. I feel like I've said this multiple times. When we went out, we was getting twerked on. The songs resonated. When you go out to the club, each part of it. When my steady mobbing came on, you was doing something. When Webby came on, you was doing something. When Travis Porter came on, you was getting something done on you. Like it's all that shit had a point. And then when Montel Jordan came on, you knew it was time to get ready to go. Like the
mm,
playlist meant for the era. They don't go out and do stuff like we did. They don't even be
or the
interactive. So
reggae section? That's what you're talking
exactly.
about.
Like I'm not even really worried about that. Even when niggas got to fighting, it would hit different. Like you knew it was coming. So like you just stood by and watched what gang was about to do this. So I'm not worried about you niggas when y'all don't even do shit original. Like even y'all music is something that we done. They doing the Chris Brown wall to wall right now, and Chris Brown in the video doing the fucking dance to his song. Like, come on now, like so many look good and hit the nigga right there doing the shit to his own fucking dance. Like,
And doing
stop.
the TikTok dance. So
That's
you
what I'm
don't like
saying.
that. You don't like him doing the TikTok
No,
dance to
I
his
don't
song.
like. I don't like the fact that all they're doing is our shit, and we're only 35. That's what I'm saying. Like these niggas ain't that far from us. We did not do anything from our 35-year-old predecessors, mentors, whatever you want to call it. The next generation up, they had they wave, we had our wave. They had the big t-shirts, jersey, we had the backpack gang, we our sound and they sound was different. We had Wayne, we had J.
They had the
Cole.
big T-shirt and jerseys. We was wearing big
We
T-shirts
was
and
in
jerseys.
fucking middle school. They were grown. That's what I'm saying. They
Oh,
had
okay.
Jay-Z. They had Bun B. They had Ti. They had that's them. We had Wayne. We had Ti. Even though Ti was us, Ti was Jeezy and all them. He was still.
I'll take they had UGK, not just Bun B. Yeah, they had
But I'm
UGK. I
saying,
get
but
that.
I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. Like our
Yeah.
actual era is the J. Cole's, the Kendrick Lamar's. That's us because they're the same age as us. So that's all I'm saying. We did not have to follow the Ludacris's, the TIs, all them. Even though we listen to them and they're a staple in what we listen to, Nelly's, they're still a generation
They were
above us.
okay. Well, not a generation, but I get you. They're
Yeah,
significantly older. Okay.
yeah, or era before us. That's what I mean. So if until then, I don't want to hear that shit. Like fuck all that they talking about. So I don't. It's some bullshit. So
I think I know you keep trying to rap, but I think it's an interesting place to land. I think I feel differently. I don't feel so. I feel like when I like the whole Chris Brown thing. I feel
you know I hate remakes. So you know me. I'm a stickler for. I
and
like original content.
maybe
So
that's what it
that's
is. I don't feel no way about like when I'm scrolling and I see the obviously the song is fire, right? Like it gets something in you. Like man, I remember we
talking
both
about
remember
wall
where
to
we were.
wall.
Yeah, yeah. The
I'm
song
not
like when I
saying the
see it.
song isn't fire. I'm not
No,
saying it's not fire.
I'm
I'm not
saying
saying
no.
it's
I'm
not
saying when
fire.
I hear it, when I'm scrolling and I hear it, even when they do the little TikTok thing or whatever, there are some creators who are actually doing the whole dance. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole tap dance part and the what's it called, bro? In the now I can't think of the part of the song, the bridge.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
so many look good in here. Da, da, da.
So good. I just don't know which one I
Right.
want. If I
I
had to choose, I know
I
y'all
think
would take all y'all with me.
I think I find comfort knowing that what the people that are you like you say in our age range, I find comfort that they made something that's timeless, classic, and still bumps to this day, and that like no matter what age range, that everybody's like, oh yeah, this is it. That's what I think I appreciate about still seeing it in rotation.
I'm cool with it and I appreciate the appreciation that we get. And I can understand, like them not doing it. I put like this. If she is 22, 23, and she's at a function to where everybody's 22 or 23, you don't need to hear no hands. If you're 30 years old, girl, be real. Okay, I mean, I get it, but let's be real. You should know that much new music at 30 years old. You should have cut off at that point. You are the problem. Bring your ass home, Stella. Okay, and calm your ass down. I don't know why you keep knowing why all these YBs and YNs and OSs and all these other niggas
This
and
old ass.
I don't know, nigga. That's what they be. I'm just saying. I'm just all these names up out here. These little niggas about here. Lil Tyler, Lil Tay. Ain't nobody got time for this girl. This not even your generation. You was raised on love music. Sit your ass down talking about some hot tot and bot and shit, girl. You ain't part of the pop balloon era. Bring your ass home. Come on. Just talking that bullshit.
Oh man, that's good. Okay.
Oh yeah, but that's just me. I personally feel like that. And the only way I'll take that is if you're in the 21 to 22 range, under 25 and under, I completely understand. 20, 30 and up should hear no hands. 29 and down, I got you. It's not really you. You weren't in college then.
Mm-hmm.
So 30, 29 and down, 2014 should be your cutoff limit of where you're hearing music at in the club.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah. So you got anything to say before we go?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to come on. I really don't ever know what to say. I need a better script, but I do enjoy myself when we come on here. I'm a little rusty, of course, but you know, shout out to the crew that's been here holding it down. Kendall slash aka Mitch, Tonyo, Josh, anybody else who's come and you know held it down to keep the show running up to 30K and beyond.
Then we close for 200 episodes too. I gotta check.
Oh wow. Okay.
Exactly. So
That's another milestone. That 30K, almost 200 episodes. That ain't nothing to
shy about. But we will probably drop merch going again soon. So y'all look out for that. But yeah, we appreciate everybody. Thank y'all again for getting us to 30K. We took a long road. We hit, I want to say like 75,000 streams. So I mean, we've hit them. So like I want to thank y'all. This has been like a long, good 4 or 5 years. We've been through the trenches. Thank everybody.
It's been 4 or 5 years. Dang.
About that, yeah, about 4.
I remember 2020 is when it kicked in.
So we've been about that.
Dang.
So like as I said, 4 or 5 years. So like we've been through the trenches. But we appreciate everybody that's rode with us. YouTube journey was his own, and we thank everybody for riding with us. This has been another episode of the 8192 podcast, where we always keep it 100. We're gonna holler at y'all later. So many I just don't know. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of the 8192 podcast, where we always keep it 100. You heard none of them sound effects, did you?
Nah. Hey. Told y'all niggas I was gonna keep it street.
Oh, then how you coming, Glock?
Pause.
Okay.
It's the 8192 podcast. You know how we do. We always keep it 100.
Yeah.